Well, here we go. Beta males. Now, I've been having this to do for a while, and something told me hold on to it. It's going to be an opportune time. And now is an opportune time to talk about beta males and show their characteristics and why they are a problem for our freedom and liberation within our community. And also just for our simple family structure that we have that's so broken. Now, some of the beta males, a lot of it, I'm gonna preface this and say it's not their fault in a lot of ways. We have to understand this system of radical Caucasian terrorism and the Caucasian society that tries to disenfranchise people. When you take a whole generation of men out of the home with the crack epidemic and all these 3-strike laws that the Clintons put in and all this stuff, you had a whole generation of men go to jail, and you had a whole lot of little boys being raised with their mothers and their grandmothers. And if you keep a boy in that kind of environment with no strong alpha male structure, this is why we have the problem today of feminized males, beta males, and even some of the issues we have today with homosexuality. We just got to call it what it is within our community. Now, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing predicted all that stuff would happen, and we're looking at this stuff happening before our eyes today. But we must identify what's wrong with the beta male, their characteristics, and show why they are a problem. As I stated earlier, Malcolm X, alpha male. Martin Luther King, alpha male. Medgar Evers, alpha male. Fred Hampton, alpha male. So you can name Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan. You can keep naming names. Most of your leaders have always been alpha males. And no one's not going to respect a beta male as a leader anyway, because it's not in them to lead. It's in them to follow, actually. So I'm going to read something here, and I found that was very good. I've been holding on to this. Actually, this came out June 5th of actually this year, or maybe it was updated part of this year. And it was talking about the differences with the alpha male, omega male, and the beta male. Now, they're saying the alpha male is a confident and charming leader. Most of the alpha males, of course, is a leader. They take risk. They put themselves out there. They're protectors. They're providers. And usually when in the guise of women are attracted to that. You know, I remember the song with Lil' Kim. Please remind me of the actual song where she was talking about money, power, and respect. I'm pretty sure some of you hip hop heads know about that, right? So it's very easy. Alpha males, if they know about how men are supposed to be, men are judged off of their success just like women are judged off of their beauty. So if a man has a certain amount of success financially, that's going to wield him a certain amount of power. The more money you have, the more power you have. The more power you have in society is going to gain you respect. Women see that regardless. They do see that. Now, the money you may have may not be millionaire money, but it still can be a success for you. You can get to a point you can come from nothing and become, you know, middle class, upper middle class. That's still a success for most people, right? And it's going to command you a certain amount of power and a certain amount of respect. But if you are not that kind of guy, because you got some beta males that got some money like that too, but they don't wield the power or they don't wield the respect. And that's usually the guys that get very angry and say, well, you know, I'm not a thug. I'm a nice guy. And I don't understand why I don't get a woman. Or I don't get this, or I don't get that. And we're going to go through that. So really you're Omega, and they talk about the Omega as well. He's considered a creepy social outcast. And some of them are that too, but we talk about the beta. And the beta is usually the shy guy who is often frustrated with his lack of success. And some of them do have a degree of success as well. But a lot of times they don't, and they're frustrated about their financial situation. And they're also frustrated with women because they really don't know how to talk to women. And that's kind of their biggest issue. Now, trait number one, the biggest problem with them, they have a lack of assertiveness. Beta males aren't assertive. They get taken advantage of or don't experience the benefits that comes from assertiveness and even aggression. Like in a business sense, They have trouble standing up for themselves, especially saying no. They may even say yes when they mean no to please people. A great book that describes this attitude and helps passive guys start to develop assertive skills is When I Say No, I Feel Guilty. Now, they say most beta males are passive or passive aggressive. They take insults or criticism lying down. They will tell a woman everything is fine when it's not, or let their boss mistreat them at work. But when they get along, things change. The passivity takes its toll. Emotions well up and cause problems. This is the dark side of the beta male passivity, passive aggressiveness. For example, beta males who advertise how nice they are, and how many times have you heard that on the internet? I'm a nice guy, and I don't understand why these women like thugs. They are and refuse to tackle issues directly for a variety of reasons. However, the anger, which you hear the anger a lot, is eventually released. It's just released in a more unhealthy way, like going from the nice guy a woman should date to then calling her indirectly, of course, a stupid whore on social media for rejecting him. Let's kind of think about that. So since they're not assertive men and they can't tell people how they feel, or even women, they hold everything in. And holding everything in is never the thing to do. You can cause yourself a heart attack. You can get gray hair before your time and just stress yourself out. But the only release they have, because they are afraid to speak up for themselves, they come on the internet, they look for people who will speak up for them, they make them their champion and heroes, and then they get into comment sections, and then they release all the venom that they have that they cannot release in their personal life. Most of these guys who's saying all this nasty, vile stuff on the internet, I promise you they won't go up to a now woman in their personal life and say any of that mess they saying on social media. Now one of them will, because they will be challenged at that point either by a woman or by the woman's man or whoever else there's around. So beta males are definitely have a lack of assertiveness, and it's their issue. Now, how does that relate to our issue in the black community? If you have a lack of assertiveness, you won't stand up against these radical Caucasian terrorists and the things that they do. Because remember, no means yes with them. So even though they can treat them horribly and put their foot on their neck, they're not going to say much about it. Matter of fact, they going to stand up for the Caucasians before black people. And any black person that starts speaking up against the unfair treatment by Caucasians, they're going to be the first ones to stand up and basically proverbially say to Caucasians, wait a minute, no. Don't say a word. I got this. I got it. Just stay where you at. I'll deal with them, massa. They be the first ones to do it because they don't want to be put in. Let me tell you something. When you're talking about all this racism stuff, you're going to put them in a position where they're going to have to probably deal with Caucasians on that. They don't want that. So you become the enemy because they have a lack of assertiveness within themselves. So since they lack of assertive, they rather attack you for speaking about those things because you messing up a good thing here that I got going on. Remember, at the end of slavery, there were slaves that told slave masters, I don't want to leave the plantation. I don't know what to do. And they forced them to leave their land because they couldn't keep them anymore. It's still like that to this day. There are black people, not just the beta males. There are black people that like oppression and don't want liberation. And they will be the first one to attack you about it. They'll be the ones. They'll come out with the most venom at you. They'll be saying, oh, yeah, you pro-blacks. And all. Like, first of all, you should be pro-black by default. Pro means for. Black is my race. So why couldn't I be for black people? That's why I got to walk around with a term anyway. I don't get that. But that's a lot of the problem that you have. And the reason why I personally like to focus more on the men, because the men are the leaders in the community. We can't get anywhere without the men in our community. We can't. We have seen for over many years where the men haven't really been leading, and look where our community is at. So based upon that alone, That should show you that, wait a minute, men need to take their rightful place and do the leading. It's not leading and saying, well, the woman need to fix her issues first and then we will fix our issues. No. Because another thing that the beta male does is he rather be around women. He don't want to be around alpha males because that's going to expose him. He don't like that. So he rather tell the woman, well, she fix herself, I can fix myself in the community, because you leading behind the skirt of your woman and not standing up as a man wearing his pants and leading the community. See, I don't care about people's ideas about, oh, well, women and men. Like, look, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, nothing changes. Everything's the same in society, in the world. Okay. Every group, men take a lead in their community. We are the only ones that are allowing, and I say allow, our men to pull that stunt about fixing a woman to fix the community. You fix yourself and then they have to follow. If they refuse to follow, you have to get a hard line, cast them to the side, go with mass if you want to, get out of here. But we got to take the lead in our own community. Now, beta males, they also have a follower mentality. Let's say beta males are usually the followers of society. They're definitely not the top dogs in social hierarchies. It probably relates to the previous point. Positions of power aren't typically filled by guys who don't seek them. Beta males don't seek power, so they rarely find it. Now, they say when alpha males typically forge their own paths and create trends, beta males are those who follow in alpha's footsteps. So they were talking about that the alpha males realize that he needs betas on his team for sure to support a lot of things he has going on. And they say that a lot of your beta males is going to be hardcore followers of somebody else. They're not going to really create nothing of their own. There's nothing wrong with supporting people, but then, you know, when you talk about a hardcore follower, is you repeat something somebody says as a man and you don't research anything they're saying. You repeat it as gospel, even though they can be completely wrong. You fighting harder for a man more than you would fight for your woman. Why is that? That's like an unhealthy thing you doing as a man. It's nothing wrong with being fond of someone or being supportive of people. That's cool, but it gets, y'all know what I'm talking about. It gets to a bad point. You got men obsessing over men trolling men, and men doing all this stuff to other men. Like, really? You doing this to a man? Do you realize what you're doing to a man? You're a grown man, and yet you're following, you're trolling, you're doing all this stuff to another man. I'm just saying, but that's what beta males do, right? I ain't looking at this chat room. Let me see if I can slow this down here for a minute so I can keep up with it. Give me a second. It's hard. It's hard to keep up with that chat room when it's moving that quick. Let me slow this down just a little bit. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm slowing it down so I can kind of see what's going on. But that's fine. The trolls can listen. So I just want to check what's going on in that chat room just a little bit, and then we'll continue going. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right, so we'll continue. So the beta male, prototypical nice guy. Nice guys finish last. It says unfortunate, but many times accurate phrase. It's not that nice guys are a bad thing. It's just that they lacking the drive and aggression to win. Most nice guys end up out of the winner's circle. Now, beta males are the prototypical nice guy, passive, non-assertive follower. They may be content with the role in some ways. However, never being at the top at work, in sports, and with women can be frustrating. Now, many beta males forget that pretty much everybody is nice. Being nice is great, but if nice is all you have going for you, then pretty much you come across as boring and lack confidence. Neither these traits are attractive, and neither are qualities that great leaders have. So you see a lot of those guys like that. I'm a nice guy. I don't commit crimes. I'm not a thug, so I should be entitled to X, Y, and Z women. But then when these women give you a chance and get with you, then you aren't really entertaining to them. You don't have something going for yourself. And you can say about the thug, well, the thug has something going for themselves in some sort of way. Not the right thing, of course, not the right thing. And they have a Department of Corrections number waiting on them. That's for sure. But you just think that you should be entitled to these women just because you are a nice guy. And I never heard anything about being a nice guy entitles you to anything. And I can definitely tell you that if you are a nice guy, they just not gonna fool with you. They just not. I don't know what it is with women with that. You could be a nice person, but don't carry it too far. You still have to have some butthole in you a little bit, and being assertive and not even letting women get away with certain things. And that's something else that beta males do. They'll let women talk to them any kind of way. They'll let women treat them any kind of way. And if a woman could treat you any kind of way, she's not going to respect you either. And she's going to notice that you're a pushover. Some women will say something to you just to see what you will say back to them. And if you don't check them right then and there, or you let them get away with stuff, or you let them run you like, they're your second mother, they're never going to respect you at all. If they can pull emotional games with you and you play on it, they're not going to, for what? What are they going to be with you for? They're going to be with a guy that's not going to put up with none of that. That's going to be a man about their situation. Period. Some of these guys are so emotional and feminized, and like, look, somebody got to be masculine in a relationship. Somebody got to be feminine in a relationship. Okay. You can't have two feminized people. And I think it's really out of order if the woman's acting more masculine and the guy's acting feminine. I'm just saying. Now, also these same kind of guys, of course, don't understand dating. Now, they say beta males are usually not the guys getting a bunch of women. They say beta males act like women, which is why women often treat beta males like other women, friend zoning them, expecting them to listen to all their problems, but never actually dating them. If you think of how women often behave with one another non-sexually as friends, that's how beta males behave. And that's a lot of the problems that they have. And that's why some of them will be on social media talking about the women and the women friend zoning them and all this other stuff. Women will tell them their problems, but they won't date them. Now, how does that translate? And because they get upset about that, they will latch on and take out their frustrations as well on women on the internet. So some black woman may look similar to a woman they're interested in, and she won't nothing to do with his behind. So he go in attacking. And they have more venom toward black women than any other group of women. And the thing is those same guys, they even talk about how great Caucasian females are, but they can't get a Caucasian female either. Because if black women are so bad, then why can't you get the Caucasian female you say is so better? Or whatever female you say is so better, but you can't get that. Why? Because even though the Caucasian female has a sheltered life for the most part, and the whole society protects her, if she not even putting up with your stuff, then that's bad. But it's somebody else's fault. I know. You don't want to take responsibility for those issues that you have. So you're able to project that on, the women on the internet, because you won't go say that mess once again. You won't go walk up to a black woman and tell her, take the weave out of her head, you stupid black bee. You won't say that. You won't walk up to a black woman and say, take that makeup off, you black whore. All the things that you guys say. You will never walk up to a black woman and tell her that. So you'll be the coward that you are, and you'll say that on social media, and you'll troll women and do all this mess. But you won't do it in real life. And that's why, see, all the issues that you have when the real people that's in the woods having militias, and the people that's going to mess with your children and tell your children at school something's wrong with their hair and make up rules about that? Are these race soldiers out here that's beating up and killing you, and these laws they creating to hurt and harm you? That's what these people are doing while you worrying about silly stuff. And that's what I always bring it back to. At the end of the day, these people hate you. They hate you. And all the little things that you run around worried about, we need to unify. We need to code up, get off of that mess we're doing, because one thing this time period is doing is exposing the men in our community and the women as well, but definitely the men, because these radical Caucasian terrorists are trying you now. They see that a lot of you are beta males. That's why. See, they wasn't trying the things they trying in the 90s. They wasn't trying that mess. They weren't even pulling some of the stunts they pulling the day back then, because they already know what was going to happen with the brothers and how the brothers going to respond. Because the brothers, they had more alpha male brothers in the 80s, 90s, for sure, that I can vouch for. They see all these beta males running around. That's why these folks trying you now. That's why these folks say anything to you now, because they feel emboldened, because they say they're not going to do nothing. They're not going to say nothing. They're going to agree with us when we say something. They will defend us quicker than they won't even defend black folks. They love to try to destroy black people. We watch them destroy black people online all day long. You think they don't watch your videos when you sitting up here talking all this nasty, vile stuff about your brother and sister? They love those videos. What a passion. They love it. They tuning in. They love when you call black women bees. They love when you call black men sorry, good for nothing, ends ain't ish. And they love that stuff. That's entertainment for them. And y'all just keep giving them all this free entertainment at the expense of your community. But notice they don't be making them videos about they men and they women. And they men and women got problems all over the place that we pointed out. But they don't do that mess. We love to destroy each other for fun. It's fun to watch us destroy each other. It's very, very fun. If you would take your time to go after the real terrorist who's doing stuff to you, and you take the same energy and venom and make the same videos against the real terrorist that's hurting and harming you, then we can get somewhere. But you're not going to do that. Because what? You think you got a good thing going on. So a lot of these guys with the men, with the women, they can't get with them no matter what they do. So they replace that with getting angry with them. Now, some of them as well are they considered needy and whiny, which we do hear that a lot. Now, they said beta males receive less attention from women and other men. They can often be desperate for attention, so they become super needy and attached, either to a particular woman or to the idea of having a girlfriend. This behavior is very unattractive and often lead guys to lose the very women that they desire. So you see a lot of these guys, and it's sad what I'm about to say. You'll have guys that will email you numerous of times, and you won't get to them. They will get angry with you that you didn't respond to their email or comment. Like, dude, I didn't get to it right then and there, but why are you tripping? Like, I would understand maybe a little bit of a woman acting that way. Why are you getting mad if a guy don't respond to you for some reason or another? Why? If somebody don't respond to me after I send you an email, I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, if they get a chance, they get a chance. I'm not tripping on that. I got 100 things to do. I'm not about to keep emailing one dude or a couple of people. I send my text out. I send my email. Anybody who know me, I'm not about to keep hitting you up for nothing. Well, most women, glam bell, don't want no beta male. I mean, they don't. I mean, think about it. Glam bell, if you get a beta male, well, shoot, you make you wonder a little bit, are you a lesbian? I mean, or something. I mean, like, for real. I mean, like, you want a man, and that's what most women want at the end of the day. Of course, talking about heterosexual women, they want a man. They don't want a male in a acting like a female. They just don't want that. Women got their place and they should have their place. And the men should have theirs as well. Nobody, who came up with the term hyper masculinity? Because I guarantee you, hyper masculinity came from Caucasians. Because a lot of times, Caucasian males they don't like how the black man present his masculinity, especially when it comes to alpha male. And any man that's using the term hyper masculinity, you kind of let me know that you're not an alpha male, because an alpha male will never use the term hyper masculinity. I see people bringing up Cynthia's name in the comment section. I don't know why people bringing up her name in the comment section at all. This has nothing to do with what she has going on or whatever her issues may be. This is something that needs to be explained, because I've used that term in my videos, like Steve Stevens and why they are a problem in our community. Steve Stevens was a beta male. That's why he ended up going out killing an elderly man, because he's all sad because his girlfriend, Joy Lane, didn't want to be with him anymore. This is not the first time we've seen that stuff happen in news stories. Women have complained many times, and these guys are an issue and a problem. And when we need the men to stand up and take the lead, they don't want to do that. It's just that simple. So for me, it is a problem, because when I look at all these news stories of these terrorists doing what they're doing, and then you look at what we got going on, the brothers that's trying to stand up are far and few in between. And the ones that are saying something, they caping for the Caucasians more than they caping for themselves. So the next thing about them, they talk about they are weak and goofy. So they mention that they aren't very masculine. So a lot of beta males look feminine, weak, and even goofy, they state. They say they lack masculine facial features, and their body language projects weakness and insecurity. This is just because they have lower levels of testosterone, higher levels of testosterone associated with being in leadership positions and being more relaxed and confident. Say women evolve to like guys who can provide and protect them. Every woman, they say they know, wants to feel safe with a guy. A beta male often gives an I need protected vibe versus I can protect you vibe, indicated by their slouching and scared body language, passivity, and they talk about their voices. They say, they give an example here. They talk about giving some things that's not really important here, but 9 times out of 10, that's really the gist of it, to be honest with you. Beta males is not a good thing, really is not. And we've been seeing this problem with the men. Now, some people kept mentioning Cynthia's name in that comment section. And, you know, I do agree with her. Beta males are an issue. Because I'm more about the men taking the lead myself. But I do understand where the beta males come from. And if a young man's that way, I can work with that a little bit because he's a young man. But when you get like 30 plus and you haven't seen the error of your ways just yet, then that's a problem. Or you didn't dug deep into that. Or as I stated before, you're trolling other men, following other men, getting your feelings hurt because the man will respond to you in an email. You know, fighting so hard, you know, to be with Caucasian females, because that's another thing I'm noticing with some of them, because they also worship Caucasian females, a lot of them. And if you say, okay, don't fool with them, but you may say, look, you can fool with every race of woman except them. Just any one of them you want to, go ahead. That's still a problem. You better not tell them they can't fool with a Caucasian female. Look, at the end of the day, you do what you want. I'm just saying that from what I'm looking at and just how I've looked at things over my 38 years of living, I'm looking at this Bill Cosby case. I don't think it's wise for brothers to be doing that. If they can sit up there and accuse you of crap years down the line, okay, and yet they finding holes in stories all the time. You look at Nate Parker, even if you do something consensual with them females, this society will let them accuse you of rape. I did another story a while back. I think it was called the Neanderthal, where she went into, I think, a restroom area and did some jawboning with these brothers and then tried to accuse these brothers of rape. These females do this mess when they get caught up. And I don't know why these brothers keep doing that mess. And the more and more I see that, I'm like, look, your life, your reputation, any of that, not worth it at all. There's way too many females in the earth that you could fool with. Why are you going to fool with them? At least, like I say, in the climate, like that, I think more than that. I just think a little bit more than that. But them same brothers, they'll fight you to the death. And you talking about, you mentioning Cynthia, that's one of their biggest beefs with her too. When she said something about white women to them, they got pissed. How dare you tell me not to fool with white women? How dare you? That was one of the things with her. I can tell you that much. Coddle men. I don't. I'm more harder on men because I know your potential. I know who you really are. So I'm not going to coddle you when I know you have the ability to be something great. Why would I do that? Coddle your weaknesses and let you make excuses for something that you should not even be making excuses for. Now, I agree with that. Oh, definitely. Cooning is a beta male trait. That's for sure. I definitely agree with that. Because cooning is basically laying down. So you have your people like your Stephen A. Smiths and your Jason Whitlocks. They bow. I mean, it's sickening to watch them too. But that's beta male behavior. You bowing down to the man, willingly bowing down to him for some trinkets. It's sickening to watch that. Yeah, that's another thing that I always say this, and some dudes get mad when I say this too. You won't see me making videos. It won't come you don't see me making videos about this. I'm not gonna make a video about women hair. You know why I'm not gonna make videos about women hair? Because first of all, I'm not paying for that female hair. I don't care what she do. I ain't paying for it. She ain't my female. That's number one. That's not important to me when race soldiers out here killing you. Why I'm gonna talk about that? See, that's the thing. It's easy to talk about hair, makeup, what they look like, all this stuff that some of these guys focus their attention on. But these race soldiers and these radical Caucasian terrorist militia groups who are they're here training to kill you, that you don't want to talk about that. But you want to talk about what the females doing. Like, come on, man. I just wish y'all take all that energy that you got pent up against black people and turn it to who you should be focusing on. Yeah, and that's another thing. Love and hip hop, housewives, we rather do that. Now, the only thing I do agree with them on, and this is the only thing I do agree with them on, y'all talking about a lot of the males, but they got these females too now. You gotta talk about that. They got some black females, and I don't even call them women. I'm gonna say females. They have an immense hate for black men, and they side with Caucasians too, and want to keep up radical Caucasian terrorism too, and they want to say, and the same group of men that have oppressed them, raped them, making up rules against their hair in school and treating them less than, they'll sit up there and say they are the better men and all this other stuff too. Now we have to keep some balance. You know, like when a black man do something with them Caucasian females, it's blown out it's said all over the place. So when a black female do something with a Caucasian male, it's kept quiet. Why? I don't know why people didn't blow it out of the water when Serena has been treated racial twice about her baby, And her Caucasian male kept his mouth shut because he's not going to get off code to deal with that black woman. But yet she's carrying his baby. And nobody's saying nothing about that. Even the females that so-called say that these Caucasian males are the better men. I'm like, okay. But that's what they say. So when the men talk about that hatred, that's real. I agree with them on that. And like I said, I get on them for talking about the women and saying the things they say. And I also don't like when some of these women say that too, because to me, I think they're more venomous than the men could be in a lot of ways. You know, they've had some of them that's even promoted saying that if you have a black male child, you should abort them. I've never heard the brother say if you get a black female child, then try to get the woman aborted. I've never heard the brother say that. Even the worst of the worst, I've never heard say that. I mean, that's some sick, vile stuff that some of them females are saying. So it's on both sides now. Cause I'm a firm believer of balance. I don't believe in just talking about one side and don't talk about the other. There's some nastiness going on now. If you're talking about the thumbnail, that's just a thumbnail, man. Like, come on, y'all get too serious. That was that dude from that meme. Remember that meme they had a long time ago about the dude on the phone, and they had made so many different memes about that. That's the same dude. Now I'm reading this comment. I can tell you this, and you take this to the bank. What you just said, case in, was a lie. I can tell you that, me telling you that's a lie. That was her sister that was married to a white dude. It wasn't her. She's never been married. And if y'all did research and heard what her sister had to say and what she had to say, her sister tells everything. Y'all repeating lies. Y'all need to chill out that lying, because some people can get, like I said, when you lie on people like that and you saying it over and over and over and over and over, and let's say you have a platform, I can tell you, look, they can come after you legally. I'm telling you this, people can come after you legally when you putting out lies about people. So make sure when you say things about people, make sure it's true, and make sure you could back it up in a court of law as well. People need to stop doing that. That's why I try to make sure my stories are right, because people that I talk about in stories, if I'm telling gross lies, I can get hit with suits too. So I try to make sure my videos are accurate about the truth and the facts and what they are. That's why I'm about to I'm gonna have to get off here, man, because I'm about to go myself to bed. It's late, but hey, everybody like what they like. Y'all can talk about that, but I just have a rule. I don't discuss fully what my cup of tea is, because I'm a married man and nobody needs to know what I like. But like I said, I appreciate you guys joining me, and see you next.